Hey guys, Drifter here. Welcome to Black Ops 2 In Depth. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about the recent AN94, DSR50, and Ballista nerfs. A patch rolled out recently, and yes, these weapons got nerfed. There were some other weapons on the table that we're also going to discuss, such as the MSMC and PDW, but the first thing I want to get out of the way in this commentary is that if you updated this patch, your Xbox isn't actually frozen. Some people have been saying that their Xboxes have been bricked from this patch, or that they can't, or that their Black Ops is frozen. My experience has been that it just takes a few minutes to boot for some reason. Instead of when you sign in and automatically goes to your multiplayer, it takes about 2 minutes to sit there to black screen and then it goes to multiplayer. There is a hotfix coming soon, I hope, that should take care of this. So just a little PSA for those of you that download the patch. Takes a few minutes to boot up. Don't worry about restarting your Xbox, just be patient with it. We're also going to talk about the rumored MSMC and PDW buffs. There were a lot of pro players tweeting out this morning. They felt that there was a silent or invisible buff on these weapons, so we're going to get to that. But first off, let's start off with the AN94. What I'm playing here is AN94 ACOG sight with silencer in stock, just because I felt like running a goofy class. The nerf on the AN94 on the patch notes read as a damage reduction. In reality, it was a range reduction. The 3-shot kill range was reduced by approximately 15%. It still has quite a long 3-shot kill range, and 15% is a relatively minor buff to the weapon, or negative 15%. Its 4-shot kill range is unchanged, so the range at which you're getting 4-shot kills is still very long. That hasn't changed at all. It's only the 3-shot kill range. The nerf on this weapon is so minor that you're probably not going to notice it at all. The weapon still has excellent range. It still drops people crazy fast up close and drops them very fast at a distance. I believe they made that buff to make it some of the other weapons that are more accurate slightly more competitive than the AN94. And no matter what the patch notes say, there was no actual change in damage. I tested the raw damage numbers, and those by all indications appear to be unchanged. The next two nerfs were identical or twin nerfs for the DSR50 and the Ballista, the two most popular sniper rifles. Their rates of fire were decreased by about 20%. Previously, they were shooting at about 50 RPM and about 56, 57 respectively. Now the DSR50 is shooting about 40 RPM and the Ballista is shooting about 46, 47 respectively. So both of these were decreased by about 20%. This was to decrease some of the spam sniping, and it actually seems to be kind of an anti-quickscoping patch so that you can't quickscope quite as fast. The other part of the nerfs was that there were slight increases to the sprint in time and the sprint out times. What this more or less does is it causes you to take longer to come out of sprinting into aim down sights, which messes up your quickscoping, and it takes you a little bit lower to sprint away, because what a lot of quickscopers would do is they would sprint into a fight, recover real fast, shoot, sprint a little bit to the side, recover and shoot. And this, when you factor in both the in and out times, it's about a 10 to 15 millisecond nerf if I remember correctly. I'm kind of pulling those numbers from the top of my head. Relatively minor, but it does make quickscoping slightly more challenging or more difficult. What it does is it makes it slower. It makes it slower for you to aim down sights, slower for you to recover back into sprinting, and you can't spam quite as fast. You used to be able to shoot the DSR50 and the Ballista, I wouldn't say fast, but definitely faster than they are now. You will feel the slower rate of fire if you're an old school sniper, if you like to sit up, post up, camp, camp in quotation marks, whatever, that's how you're supposed to snipe like a real actual sniper and shoot people. You probably will never notice, but if you're in phase, or if you really like quickscoping really fast, you're definitely going to notice that it's slower and more difficult. Finally, I'd like to talk about the changes for the MSMC and the PDW. When I got up this morning, I was reading over the patch notes. There were a lot of tweets coming out that the MSMC and the PDW felt better. Also one for the Remington, which I didn't unfortunately get an opportunity to test. That one's very difficult to test. So I went ahead and I tested damage and RPM, or rate of fire, for the MSMC and PDW. Neither their rates of fire nor their damage have changed, and the recoil feels the same. As you've seen from the foregrip episodes, it's very difficult to get a recoil analysis, especially if it's small changes, but my feeling on the recoil is that it hasn't changed. It doesn't feel different. I could technically be wrong about that, but it does feel the same. But the hard numbers, the RPM and the damage, are unchanged. Overall, this was an extremely minor patch. There's a lot of people making a big fuss about it on Twitter, usually pro snipers, because they play so much and they get so used to the way it works and it feels so good to them. You do one little minor change and it throws off their whole rhythm, even though it is a relatively minor sniping change. And the nerf to the AN94 is extremely minor, so I wouldn't even worry about that. You will probably never notice it. Well guys, that's all for this episode. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that you learned something useful. If you'd like to check out the previous episode, which was on a shield trick, you can click the box on the left. That'll open in a new window. The next one is either going to be your choice or whatever comes my way. Down in the description, I have links to the Ask Drifter app and the Drifter merchandise store while I'm selling shirts. I would ask you to just click the bit.ly link and go to the store. I don't really even want you to buy anything, but the store is supposed to have this built-in like traffic analysis deal, and I think it's broken, whereas I know bit.ly works really well, so I just want to compare the stats from the store to my bit.ly numbers so that I can report a broken or damaged stat tracker if that's what's going on there. Don't have to buy anything, just check it out. Hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Drifter out.